We'll start in just like a couple minutes. No one's online, surprisingly, but we'll still record it.
And
I can send it to you right now.
Yep. We obviously good news. Get started.
Yeah. You mind just say, hey, everyone stand up. Let's share wins, victories, and then just ask us if we have the announcements.
You want the announcements first or wins first?
Wins first.
Okay.
And then you'll
I'll take care of that.
Yep.
That's good. How you guys doing? Good on Graham. Amanda?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I think it's. No one's even. Because I won't be teaching.
Well, welcome in. Glad to have you.
Darby. See you. How are you? Your name is spoken in hushed tones everywhere.
And you are
Respectful tone.
Sorry, I'm trying to send it to you here. I got all of it.
Yeah, and we did just so you know, I actually read and left showing more pieces to that. Except for Roy.
Sure, absolutely.
But they also
There
like almost sounding like your kinds of real.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, because I told her that other one had zero.
Wow.
It's not like here. It's like the big coach thing.
Yeah.
If we're pretending to stay super hard, she does so many.
Oh, yeah.
If they're weird about it, what we could do is just.
So we did all information on it, we have it live, we're taking rich architects.
Oh yeah, okay.
They actually.
That's good. Did you sell that?
Yeah, I just texted you.
They just closed the gate.
Hey, we're here. Tara. So we got the roof roller today at noon. Okay. Okay. Should be solid roof. Yeah. Yeah, and probably have roofs, obviously boots. It's not unusual. So we gotta get some boots sealed, whatever it is. Like, not a big deal.
There's one of the pictures where you can see him from the side.
Yeah, so it's coming through the boot area. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No, well, just let us know what it is, and we'll pass it on. But yeah, nothing crazy at the end of the day. Boot sealing and that kind of stuff.
No, I'm sitting there like, who's that old fat guy?
It's a whole price. Yeah, tell me my clients are like, cool, like, yeah, you're gonna see 30 people on it. And if you're gonna come scared, but no.
I always tell them that, especially for
It can be 50 pages long, and it's probably okay. We can get through most of the stuff, right? So,
Well, they should.
yeah, can be for sure.
Yeah, they.
Sweet, you might have to have more chairs as well.
Yeah, come join us, yes!
Short guys in the front.
Yeah.
Oh! What's up, my friend? How you doing, man? Good, how are you? I'm doing all right. Good.
Busy, brother?
Good.
Now we're getting some people online.
Alright, can we start?
Yeah, go ahead. That's great. Yeah. Hey, just remind everyone that the speakers, everyone can hear.
Close some deals.
Try to keep the chatter down on the first thing.
Next week.
Alright, guys, good morning. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Alright. So whenever I do this, it kind of like takes me back. I used to, in a prior life, I used to work for the Boy Scouts of America, and I ran a scout camp, right? So whenever I'm in front of people, I'm always like, good morning, get up early, right? That's what I want to do. That's not what I do. Every time I do this, that's what it makes me think of, right? So, anyways, welcome. Good to have you guys here today. It's going to be an awesome, awesome trade today. I'm super glad that you're going to walk away with value and just ready to hit the ground running with some things you can apply today in your business, right? And that's what's super exciting. That's why we do this Leaders Wanted Mastermind, so everyone can collaborate and coordinate, because collaboration is always better than competition, right? Like at the end of the day, we're trying to build a better place for our buyers and our sellers to do better and more success in their industry. I guess what we get a benefit from that. So that's what we're all about today. Before we get started, let's everybody stand up real quick. We're going to stand up. let's go over wins. Any wins or victories that you can share as maybe individually or as a team? Anything that hey, this was big for me in my world this last week. Who's got a win for us?
I'll share one.
All right, Lewis got a win.
I have 5 listings going live this week, and one of them already is under contract with multiple offers.
Wow, look at that! I love it. That's a big deal.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So let's do this. When someone gives a win, I know we've done clap before. When I'm doing it, I'm gonna switch it up. That's okay. We're just gonna do one clap because it's just like keeps things moving forward. Let's just go 1, 2, 3. Go bam. Okay, good one, Gary.
I got to close on a really cool piece last week. It's Idaho. It was a dream property for this family. They own a bridal reception house here, and then we bought a land so they could grow wildflowers and raise beef for their wedding reception.
Wow,
It
look
was
at
just
that.
they were so excited. It was like a dream, and I felt cool to be part of it. So.
That's cool. I love it. All right, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you. Who else got a win? Right here.
We had a sign call on one of our listings that I met an unrepresented buyer, and I got the BBA signed last week, and then we put in an offer this week. We didn't get, but we're already looking at more houses today too.
I love it. 1, 2, 3. Boom. All right. Who else got a win? Any other exciting things going on? Yes.
All 7 deals I have under contract, 34 million worth under contract, and so today I woke up, I'm like, I need more deals. Everything's under contract.
That's a good problem to have. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love it. Good job, guys. You know, it's funny. It's funny. You go through these waves of real estate, right? Where you have lots of business. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. The key is making sure we continue to fill that pipeline up, right? So that we don't have this oh crap moment when you're like sliding down the mountain again, right? So that's exciting though to be like, I just did a ton. All right.
That's awesome. No, just Shanna Edwards raised her hand. I not to interrupt.
All right, Shanna.
Oh, you gotta unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks, Liz. Yes, I have a new listing coming up in Ogden. It's actually on 12th Street, but it's above the 12th that's in the mouth of the canyon. So it has incredible mountain views behind it, like a mountain backdrop. It's a single level home, just under, well, it's 1,700 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's on a ½ acre, and then it has a detached oversized 2-car garage. We're going to list it at $460, and it should be live by Monday.
All right, that's always a win. I love it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, perfect. Very cool.
I guess I would say that Graham and I have a deal we're working on right now.
We do.
I'm the buyer's agent. So
He's tough to negotiate against. We'll see what happens.
I'm digging my heels in right now.
You know, I love it. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. You know, something kind of cool, something just to think of when you're working through this, and this is what I always use, and Ray, I love working with you on this. But it's fun because you started this negotiation, and I actually had this conversation with another agent, maybe a couple of agents this week, but where we're in this, we're on these 2 separate sides of the transaction, right? Buyer, listing agent, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we're reading the same book. Right, we're just trying to get on the same chapter and on the same page. Because once we get on the same page, guess what? This thing's going to move forward. We're going to rock and roll. And that's where we're going to be an incredible benefit to those we work with as agents. Is to be like, yeah, let's get into this place where we can make this happen. Right? It's not this antagonistic me versus you. It's just let's make it happen. Let's find a way. So cool. Any other big wins you want to share before we wrap that part up?
I have one.
Okay, let's hit it.
I just bought my dream home, so that.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Nice
brand new Nelson home.
Wonderful.
Congratulations. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Hitting dreams is what we're all about, right? You guys achieving your dreams. So, cool. Anybody else? Okay.
I just have a personal one. My daughter just got a full ride 4-year scholarship to SUU through the Governor's Academy.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good. That's a big deal. Cool. I love it. All right. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and take a seat, guys. Thank you for all you shared. Just a couple reminders. Before we get started here, we're going to do some announcements. We've got that taken care of. But just a reminder, everything is picked up. There's microphones all over here, right? You can see above you. So if you're like whispering to your neighbor about something, they're probably hearing it online and it's being recorded, right? So just FYI, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Last week, was it last week?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
When I was on Zoom, because I was stuck at the car dealership, and there was like, it picks it up so clear. So if you do need to talk to your neighbor, go in the hallway.
Yeah, that's a really good
idea. It picks it up so clear. I was like, ooh.
And it's very I know we're all realtors and we just love to talk, especially me. And so when you're talking and just going, hey, yeah, that's a good idea, now the person online can't hear Graham or Jeff speak, and it's in a way disrespectful to Jeff who's trying, because then he's thinking you're asking a question and it kind of throws you off when people, so try to be
I
respectful.
never realized how bad it was, because that's the first time I did it.
So just a reminder for everyone
Yeah.
here today, okay? All right, Lewis, I'm gonna give you
Just
this
quick
announcement.
announcements.
Go
So
ahead, yeah.
next week, no mastermind, because we support the Women's Council, right? And that's so we don't have a mastermind next week. But on Thursday, if you signed up for the Captivate Agent class, it's in 3 different locations. One of them's here at Leaders Wanted. It'll be 8 weeks, 2-hour trainings every week, and then it's 17 hours of CE also. So it's free class. If you want to spend $35, you can get the book that comes along with it. So that's a great class. That will start on the 16th. Was there any other announcements? Yes.
Yes, the class that Emily is hosting in May.
Yes.
It's going to be really, really good. Please spread the word. It's going to be a 2-hour mastermind that day, so plan it now. It's May 6th.
May 6th, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's bringing 30 copies of his book,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And it's going to be like, I can't even tell you how valuable.
It's going to be
Talk about what it is again,
Yes,
about
2
what it is.
So it's wealth beyond Wall Street is what he calls it, but he helps, like, he's helped us buy a bunch of rentals out of state.
When she says a bunch, I think they own 37 or 39
Somewhere
rentals.
there.
Yeah.
They lost count.
And it just helps build a retirement plan with rentals and using life insurance, and just his book is called Retire in 10 Years or Less, but he's like, you never really retire, you just kind of
Get wealthier. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's 2 hours.
it's really cool, it's really valuable. Like, the guy's amazing. 2 hours probably won't even be enough, but
Feel free to invite any
Sure, you
realtors.
guys.
We'll pack as many people as we
Yeah.
can in here.
What's
So-
his name?
his name's Ryan Lee.
What's the date again? Sorry.
May 6th.
And it's on the calendar in school.
Okay, cool.
And we'll put out some
Media post.
Some
yeah,
media,
some media
yeah.
posts about it.
Yes,
So
when you guys
can-
start.
Yeah, 10 a.m., but it'll be 2 hours.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So that's something you don't want to miss, especially as you get to a place where like, I need to deploy some funds and use them in different ways. Gives you an opportunity for that, some probably tax advantages with it as well.
Yes,
Like there's all
huge.
sorts of really
Yeah.
cool things you can start looking at with it as you start building your wealth, right? So awesome. I love it.
That's it for the announcement.
Okay, thank you guys. All right, so with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, now what we're going to do today is we've got an incredible speaker coming up here, guys. Jeff Boyson and I, we go back 8.5, 9 years, back to Discover Realty with Travis Noakes. And Jeff is a fabulous agent. Last year, every year he does anywhere from 40 to 50 deals a year kind of thing pretty consistently. And in addition to that, runs a team with about 5 agents on it, a couple TCs. So he's going to talk to us today about some really, really insightful stuff because we are in a market, guys, where there are contingent buyers and there are sellers that don't order with contingencies. Is that correct? Yeah. So how do you still get your people accepted? Jeff's going to tell us the magic formula to that, all right? So with that, Jeff, let's come up.
Thank you. My wife and I and our whole team, we're just brand new to Real. Like we just joined 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I guess we capped in the first. And had our team do really, really well. So it's been really. I've just really enjoyed. I was telling Lewis this morning that I've never been in a group where there's like just so many quality and great ideas and quality agents out there. It's just kind of blown my mind how really great it's been. Sometimes when you're in a smaller brokerage, there's just maybe 1 or 2 that are great ideas. So this is all new to me. So I hope I do okay. This is new to me. Graham reached out, hey, do this, because I did a contingency actually. My last deal I did before, one of the last deals I did before joining Real was that Lewis and I did one where we had this contingency, and I introduced this language, and he was like, holy cow, you've got to share this. And I said, oh, maybe I'll get a chance. And so this is me getting a chance at it. So, okay, this is winning with contingent buyers in today's market. Now, how many of you, we'll get to it a little bit, but like, it's kind of a hard thing when you're dealing with contingency buyers, right? And I think we're all classically trained to use the active TC addendum. And it has some language, and sometimes your buyers feel a certain way about, hey, at any given moment I could get notified that I'm going to have to remove my contingency or lose the deal. Or your sellers, I don't know, maybe they don't feel like the offer is super legitimate because there is a contingency. Well, how far are you on the market yet? Are you under contract? Where are you on things? And but there's such a market for contingencies right now. And and I will say it, like this stat is, I mean, I hope this holds, but it might not. Right now, we have a 100% success rate with contingencies.
Wow.
And have done for a couple of years. Like, it's been really good. And there's such a great opportunity for contingency buyers, and we'll get to that. But first, let's go to the next slide. Okay.
Is it Jeff when he was younger?
Yeah. This is
Right here?
This is like-
Is
this
the
is
man?
No, I was talking about the one on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Before I got attacked by a bunch of bees. As soon as that Benadryl kicks in, I'm going to look amazing. But you have ready? When you have no clue how to sell your house, but you put it on the market anyway, we've all seen it before. Okay, next slide.
That's perfect.
You will never look at the pregnancy parking spots again in the same way. So I love that one. So it's just
Sorry.
okay. No, next one. This is great. Here we go. The funny thing about this is we all kind of see things maybe a little different way.
Yeah.
Hey, this is another one. This is a good one. Okay, here we go.
I didn't even read these when we were going
This
through
is
it.
great, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
told
good.
you not to look because
Yeah.
I wanted you to look.
Yeah, exactly.
But think about this. If you have buyers who are steak people and some are vegan people and some want white cabinets and the other ones want a really old house that they can fix up and somebody wants new construction, or just people have different situations, and I think one of the privileges of being a realtor is that we have fiduciary. We put our clients' needs above our own, their tastes above ours, and we go and do a great job for them. I love being an advocate for my client. I hope you love that. That is just the best part of the business, right? So whether they're steak people or vegan people, or whether you're a steak person or a grass person, you just do what's best for the client, right? Here we go, next one. This is when you, anyway, go ahead. This is awful, right? Hey, we're closing on our house next week. Sorry we didn't use you. Well, that's okay. You should really go buy a new car this week. That's awful. Don't do that. Okay, next one. All right, this is real. This is where is
May 7th.
June 12th, 1985. This was the advertised fixed rate of only 14.25%. If you bought a house for 10, 25, 50, or 100,000, these were your payments, right? And they're making a big deal. All of this kind of thing. So this is just interesting about where rates are going. Do you guys ever have conversations about what rates are doing?
Oh yeah, people are always asking us.
What are they saying?
They don't know. They don't know what's going to happen.
What's going on with rates? And all everybody knows is that just recently during COVID, all we know is that rates were what?
Slow.
How many of you refinance your home? You know, like, hey, I'm at a 2.65 rate. You know, I remember we dropped when they went to like 3 and 7/8. Lender called me up, 4 months later? You should do it again. Can I? Yeah. Okay. And we refinanced down to 2.6 or something like this. A buddy of mine is at 1.8 on a 15-year. And I was like, that's pretty smart. So that's interesting, right? So what do you hear? What do you hear people saying about rates right now? What are some of the things that people are worried about, especially if they're first-time home buyers or young buyers? Or people where they have their kids are living in their basement. What are they saying about rates? Like, what are they saying about their timeline about buying a home and based on rates? They
want to wait.
I want to wait. I want to wait till rates go down. I'm very, very sensitive. Now, we've all been in this business a while. I did a. We're not going to talk too much about this, but I did a Chat GPT, and I had Chat make me what happens on a payment on a $500,000 home from 6.5% all the way down to 3.5%. Do you know what the change in payment is? It's not quite $800, from 6.5 to 3.5. Here's my question to us as realtors. Let's just have we'll just decide. Here's prices. Here are the rates. If rates go down to 6, what's going to happen to prices? Maybe level off. What's going to happen what if they go to 5.5?
We're going to go up.
5? I don't think you're going to see the day where that $500,000 home you're going to pick it up for 3.5. At what interest rate do you start to see multiple offers happening and writing? How many were here during COVID, and you were writing offers $25,000 above? How many of you wrote an offer $100,000 above list price and your offer was not accepted? Do you remember those days?
Yeah.
Rates were 2.5%. Proof of funds. And doing the language where it says, even if the appraisal doesndo come in, the buyer will pay the difference in cash. Do you remember that? And we're going to waive appraisal, $10,000 non-refundable earnest money upon acceptance, another $25. You remember this?
We'll pay all your title
Crazy.
fees, we'll pay everything.
We have so many clients who are not going to be able to afford to get into the market if they wait for it. Do you agree with that? I mean, they're not going to make it. This is a perfect time for young buyers, first-time home buyers. This is a great time now. If you already have the home and rates come down, hey, I don't have to renegotiate my price. I can go ahead and enjoy those new rates. Personally, I don't want the economic conditions, or any kind of another outbreak of a, what was that,
COVID,
a pandemic
Yeah.
that drove rates down. So I'm just going to throw this in. Does everybody know why the shutting down of the Strait of Hormuz has, like, why does that affect our interest rates on our mortgages? What the heck is the connection? Has anybody thought about this? Like, why are they making a big deal about this? Or it's true, rates have gone up because of it. Do you want to know why?
Sure.
I talked to a financial advisor, and he said when investors have all of their money in oil and they've got all this money, then this hits, they pull their money out of oil and they park it in the 10-year treasury bond while they're waiting for the conflict to resolve. When the treasury bond gets bloated with cash, what happens to interest rates? They go up. And that's what's happened there, because there's uncertainty in the market. What happens when this, we were hoping the deadline was today and it's been pushed 2 weeks, President Trump pushed that. When that gets resolved and they pull their money back out of treasury bonds and throw them back into oil, what's that going to do to our rates? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. There's going to be a softening. But for any of you who've been camping for all of your whole life, every single year, this time of year, gas prices go up. I mean, they always have OPEC backs off their production. I mean, right? We've all seen this. It's just what they do. So, but anyway, so those are rates. Now, here, this next slide, you're going to love this. Go ahead. These are the average rates since the 1970s, decade over decade. So when people are complaining about, well, what are going on with rates? Like, we're pretty average. But people remember the 3%, they remember 4%, they super remember it. What they don't remember is the lousy economic conditions and unemployment and other issues that accompanied the market that created the low rates. Go ahead.
Don't want to interrupt, but just had a comment on this. Everyone's like, oh, I want rates to go back to 3, and I say, that was government subsidized rate. And it destroyed our economy after that. Like, yeah, everything went berserk, but then where do you think inflation came from and everything else? You actually don't want rates at 3.
Don't.
That's like a crisis black swan event that's happened once in 100 years. I wouldn't wait on that.
You get a lot of people who go, well, on my savings account, I want rates to be high, but on any money that I'm borrowing, I want rates to be low.
So do the banks. So does everybody.
Yeah. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Now, you know as well as I do that when rates go to like 5 point anything, what's going to happen? How many buyers do you have that are going to come? Have you seen this when they'll say mortgage applications, that the rates went to what, 5.75, 5.99 for like, what,
a few
2
weeks?
weeks?
Yeah.
What did your schedule look like?
Yeah.
Holy cow, we put like 14 deals under contract in like a 2.5 week period. It was unbelievable. It was just like, I couldn't work fast enough. I couldn't keep my phone charged. You know what I'm saying? And then rates go back up and you're like, huh.
I'm going to break from it.
Go play golf or something. So, oh, by the way, I'm dressed up for Augusta.
Yeah, that's right. He almost wore his Augusta shirt.
I have a shirt from Augusta. It took me like 2 years to finally open the packaging and smell Augusta. And Tiff was late on laundry, so I was like, no, that's not true. It's my beautiful wife, Tiff. I work for her.
Yeah.
When it comes to the senior licensee in our team, it's Tiffany. She's been licensed longer than me. Anyway, isn't this okay? Ready? Now check this out. This is I don't know where you are with Elon Musk, but the quote makes sense. This is a bad thing, but a bad quality. But paying 7% at 30,000 under list or 7% at 30,000 under list is better than 100K over at 2.99. Let that sink in. True statement.
True.
How many of our first-time home buyers? I remember going and talking to them, and they're going. Hey, we've saved up $20,000, we're ready to buy a home. Do you remember that during COVID? And you're going, you can't even compete.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay 20K over, plus a down payment, plus pay your own closing costs. Can your parents loan you 50 grand? Do you remember those conversations? It was tough.
And there's one thing that's changed this year.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple of years, now you're going to have to ask them to pay your buyer's agent commission as well.
Sure.
That's going to be a part. If we get to low rates, and multiple offers, the first thing they're going to be is like, well, what's your commission?
Yeah.
And you're going to have that conversation.
Your buyer's going to have to pay the whole bill, and then they're going to have all of this cash, and they're going to be paying a minimum down payment, and the rest of it is just the cost of acquiring the home, right? It's going to be a lot. So anyway, it's when we started kind of playing around with this with the Chat GPT, if you just ask it, it'll put this on this nice little, here's the payments. But really at a certain rate, at what point do the prices start to go up? Now I'm 4.5%, but I'm paying $540, $550 for that same home that at $500 I could have paid $5.75, and the payments start to look extremely similar. But just so you know, every half a step is about $150. So something
at $500,000.
At $500,000. And so what I've been saying to borrowers is, hey, I know you want the rates to come down, but that only saves you about $400 a month. What can you do as a side hustle to either cut some expenses or make an extra $400 a month? You just life hacked a lower interest rate, right? So anyway, that's a little something that's working for me. Maybe we'll go ahead and use that. Okay, next slide. This just came out by the National Mortgage Professionals, and it was also in the Realtor.com. I don't know if you guys get the emails from Realtor.org. I kind of sometimes don't know the difference between Realtor.com and Realtor.org, if I'm being honest. But this was a quote they said. There are now more homes above 6% interest rate versus below 3% interest rate. Have you had clients who've said, well, I'm going to miss my 3 whatever interest rate, I'm going to move into a new home because life happens and they need to get there? And how many of you have had clients that are like, well, I thought I was just going to ride this 3% rate forever and I'm actually going to move on and we'll buy a new home and we'll be at 6% and that's okay because our family needs it, we have needs, right? Yep. That's just started happening. You also have something, so I've been in the business now for 20 years, and I remember having kids in the car seats or in the booster seats, right? Who are now one child with one on the way buying homes. I feel like a grand realtor. It's really exciting to kind of, and they just kind of show up like, hey, we're ready to buy a home. And here's what's still true. You still can only qualify on a third of your income for a house payment. That's never changed. So when you get parents kind of really, oh, I just can't believe these kids are going to have to pay these enormous house payments. You guys remember your first house payment? Yeah, I remember we were living in a little home on 5th Street, and it was $29,000. Do you remember this? And the payment was $257, and our rent was $250. It was fully furnished. And they wanted to sell it to us for $33,000, and our payment was going to go to like to $320, and I was like, for a house? So don't take it. My advice comes with a little bit of a lot of. When I talk about idiots doing idiot things, they're all. I have permission to tell the story because I did it. So, anyway. All right, next slide. First, so here's something that we deal with. We're always talking about first-time home buyers. But now we're in a market of first-time home sellers. Do you ever deal with that? We bought a home before, but now we need to sell for the first time. And if you can kind of, I didn't have a fancy way to do the slides, but what are their concerns when they're thinking about selling a home? They're going, okay, we want to buy another home, we're ready to move on. We bought a townhouse because we wanted new and flashy and new, and now we want a yard. You ever have those conversations? Or now we've got this, now we want a 3-car garage, or we want a lot more room, or we want a garden this time, or whatever the case may be. What are their concerns? Or as you've had these conversations, when they're going to be a first-time home seller, what are their concerns? How do I sell and buy and not be homeless? Right, and then I got the chicken or the egg thing, right, is, well, what comes first? Do we go out and try to find a home when our house isn't even ready yet? Right? And you're out showing houses for months, and they're trying. And once we find the house, once we find it, then we'll list our home. What does the seller want? No, I want you under contract, sold, living in your parents' basement before you come and write me. Do you see where the
there's a disconnect? Yeah.
There's a disconnect between the seller going, no, I want you to already be ready to, or better yet, I want you to be able to qualify for both houses. That's a rarity. It does happen, but it's pretty rare. In most cases, they need to sell their home in order to buy the current. So you're going out shopping for homes while they're trying to get ready. And you ever find yourself like, oh my gosh, I've been showing these clients homes forever. You drop by their house and they are not set. In the subject to sale of buyer's property condition addendum, how many days does it say you have to be on the MLS? 7 days, which means you need to get the photographer out there for sure by at least day 6, if not day 5. And if you're going to have a big load, have you ever seen these listings where we just got to be on the phone? We got to be on the market on day 7, so there's laundry on the bed, right? You see these? You've seen some of these, and you're like, boy, we're not going to get as good a deal. We may not be able to sell this for top dollar because we just didn't get a chance to really get it ready for market. Okay.
And it puts them in a position where they're highly stressed because they go, I don't even know what I can offer until I know what I'm getting from the sale of my home, and I'm not going to give up anything. I want above asking price, but I want $100,000.
Because I remember when we wrote our offer, and so is it still true that when I wrote my offer during COVID, I had to pay $50,000 over? I assume I can get $50,000 over over your CMA, right? And now we're also in a market where you don't get to just market and say, hey, this is how much my house is worth. This is how much I want for my home. Graham did on the last mastermind that he did. He was like, now you have to talk to the sellers about, look, you're marketing to buyers now. You don't get to just stand and, remember during COVID, remember how you would go to somebody and say, hey, your house is worth $6.
I want so.
I want $650. And they'd get $685.
Yep.
And you'd put a crooked, I remember we had a pattern where we would put the home on the market on Thursday, no showings till Friday. Yep. I would put them in a hotel until Monday. We'd get offers through the weekend, and we would tell everybody we'll accept the offer on Tuesday. I did that every single week like clockwork. And it was just like, I'm just paying for hotels every week. But it accompanied these nice commission checks. Do you guys remember those days? That was awesome, right? Those were really fun. Well, now you got sellers going, okay, so I bought, as a first-time home buyer, I bought in that market where I paid. Now I want to sell in that same market where people are going to pay me extra. And you have to sit there and talk to them about, hey, here's this. And like I said, Graham did a great job on this. Here's what your house is actually worth, and you've got to market to prospective buyers. And so right now we're also talking about the inventory all of a sudden jumped up, and there's more houses, right? Why is that? Because every time you ask this question, hey, when's the best time of year to list? That just hit. Now all of a sudden we're getting a bunch of, how is that an advantage to buyers? More houses to look at. I mean, when you're running a search now of homes, we want 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. This time we want a yard, at least a quarter of an acre. We definitely want a 2-car garage, but we want to stay under 450. Remember that? Your first reaction is, oh, there's 57 houses. Have you been noticing this? Like, oh, wow, there's a lot more homes available. And you're like, oh, even I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So there's more opportunities for your clients. We have to make sure that we're marketing the home in a really super terrific condition. And I tell clients all the time, we need your home to be in a condition where the buyer has no excuse but to offer your asking price. Make sure we got one shot at going on the market and being ready to go. So Graham did a great job on explaining how to do that. But anyway, that's their concerns. And then what to do with my proceeds. Okay, I always tell the clients, look, I'm just a realtor. I always say lowly realtor. I'm just a lowly realtor. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not any of those things. But who's done a recent listing closing? What are the 5 questions they ask you? What are the questions that the title company asks the borrower at closing? Did you use a 1031 exchange? Did you use it as a place of business? Did you use it as a rental? Have you lived here 2 out of the past 5 years? And from the time you bought it and improved it, are you making over either $250 if you're single or over $500 if you're married? Do you know those questions? How many of your clients are now going to be able to take proceeds that are tax-free? They don't know this. How many? I tell you this because I've had this happen to me so many times. They'll say, I thought that I have to take the money from the sale of my home and I have to put it down on the next one or I'm going to get taxed. Is that true?
No.
No. Unless there's another, if your annual income, your taxable income's over $400,000 and you get into a 3.8% tax, blah, blah, blah. You guys all know about this. But the thing is that there's an opportunity here to really help people out. And this is something that I do at my listings with contingency buyers to help tee them up, because this happens where they go, I've got my house payment, and then what other bills do they have typically?
Car payment, they've got cell phones,
got some credit cards, right? Those kinds of things. And I've got some bills. So we think we can only increase our house payment maybe another $200, $300, $500. Go out and help us find. So now I'm a contingency buyer, and what I can buy for another $500 a month might not get the job done for what kind of home I'm looking for. Do you ever come across this? Okay. So let me show you this. Next slide. So this is it. I deal with this a lot with clients. So for our conversation, they've got an $850 truck payment, and they still owe $20,000 on the truck. $1,500 total in credit card payments, totaling about $25,000. They got $1,000 going to the dentist or something else, and they owe
shoot. Sorry, dog.
And then they owe like $8,000 on that. Did I touch the screen?
No, I did. 100%
Jedi skills.
Not yet.
So, this is what I tell clients all the time. About $15,000 a down payment is worth about $100 a month on a mortgage, right? 10,000 is about 60, 70, 80, 60, 70 bucks, 75 bucks, depending on where interest rates are. The easy math is 15,000 equals $100 on a mortgage. So, we're going to pay, so when they're, hey, we want our new mortgage to be like, we're paying $3,000 currently on our mortgage. We think we can go, because we're paying $33.50 a month plus $3,000. We're at $63.50 a month in bills. We think we can maybe go up another $400 or $500 as long as you can help find us a house that's twice the size with a bigger lot. And right, you guys know this conversation. You're like, oh man. Well, if we pay $350 more on the mortgage, we can eliminate that $33.50 a month because $53,000 is about $350 on a mortgage, right? I'd rather pay more on the mortgage. That's a $3,000 monthly savings that goes out of their bills. I have this conversation all the time with my clients. So I have our old payment of $3,000. We could jump all the way up to $4,000 on your new house payment. They're like, wait, what? But you save $2,000 a month.
So let me make sure I understand this right. You're going to say,
this is a lot
I'm
of
the buyer,
Go
or
ahead.
I'm the seller. I'm going to say, okay, instead of
first time
taking
home seller.
the extra $53,000 that I have and putting it down on the house to save $350,
yeah,
I'm going to take the $53,000 and I'm going to pay my car off, my credit cards, and the dentist.
Paid off.
It's going to give me $33,000.
And I'm going to go into my next house, my second house, completely debt-free, and all I have is a mortgage. Now, this is kind of wealthy people stuff.
Yep.
The only debt I have is on an appreciating asset where I can write off the interest.
Yep.
That is a beautiful place to be.
Yep.
Right? And at a certain income level, like if you don't have a payment or something to write off, the IRS is going to take it anyway. Anybody have I see a couple of smiles. Like you're going to pay this money. You may as well have a choice of where it's going towards a mortgage. Does that make
And the
sense?
truth is, if you're wealthy enough to have your house paid off, you don't have credit card payments anyways. You don't have any of that. So this is just taking debt that's not appreciating, that has no tax write-off whatsoever, getting rid of it, and improving their situation.
So here's a fun conversation, and I'll just because I like numbers. I've had somebody tell me on that $20,000, say, yeah, but I'm at 0% interest. Did anybody say that to you? So ready? Here's the question. How much money do you have to earn to pay off a $20,000 debt at 0% interest? 27, 28,000? Right? I do this with clients all the time. To have $1,000 after taxes, how much did I have to earn to have that much?
After taxes.
There you go. Because that 20 grand is after taxes. So when I pointed this out to my client, I go, you got to make about 20. He was like, he has to make about 14,000 to have 10,000 after taxes. So I have to earn 14. I have to drive to work for 14. I have to put in enough hours to make 14 to have 10 left over to pay off debt. So if I have $100,000 to pay off debt, I got to go earn 140 grand to pay off 100. But if I make $100,000 on my owner-occupied real estate, I make 100, I have 100, I get to spend 100, I get to leverage 100. Did you see this? Mm-hmm. Powerful. So when you have this conversation with your clients, and they're going to make 100, 150,000 on their sale of their home, which is realistic, they go completely debt-free. Now they have just a small house payment, and I'm encouraging. I've been having a lot of fun with closing on deals. They have the money, and I say, look, opt for a $100 or $200 higher house payment, and put $15,000 to $30,000 in the bank.
I do the
Some of
same
these
thing.
people have never seen that kind of money in the bank account. I have had so many closings. It's been so rewarding to take contingency buyers, and when the dust settles, they're completely debt free. All they have is a mortgage, and they've got 15, 20, 30,000 in the bank, and it's like the first time they've ever seen that kind of money. It's you transcend just being a realtor who opens up doors at that point. and you become a lifeline to these people. It's incredible, and they will refer their friends, let me tell you.
100%. I just did this with a couple clients where they were stressed out about an extra couple $100s, and I go, so if you had an extra 10 grand, how many payments would that be? And they did the math, and I'm like, so instead of putting 200 down, why don't we put 190 down?
Exactly.
They're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that essentially buys your rate down.
Well, so I'll throw this out too as you go through this this through the clients. It's no different than going through CMAs correctly with clients. Let the numbers tell the story. Too often as agents, we try to get into the world like, we're going to sell you, we're going to help you, we're going to do this, and we try to just like talk through stuff, but just show the numbers.
Yeah.
Like there's so much power, and here's what the data is. I had a client who's like, Graham, they were going between a 725 house and a 675 house, $50,000 difference, right? We went through these exact numbers, and they said, that's it? I said, yeah, it's a $350 difference on payment, or whatever it was. And like, oh, we're just going to go for the 725 then, right? Yeah, and we're still going to do everything else we want. And now they don't have to finish off a basement because they're looking from a house with an unfinished basement, which is going to cost them $50,000 to $70,000 to finish, or a finished basement, and you pay $350 more a month for it.
Yeah, hold back the cash, pay cash for your basement, and you immediately are going to love your home because you have enough bedrooms and you have enough space. You don't have to live in a construction zone. Just get it done, and it's effectively kind of rolled into your mortgage because whenever somebody sets aside money to go, well, we'll just do it over time. Oh man.
After tax too. I love that. I'm gonna
it's
use
the
that.
after tax thing.
Yeah.
I have this happen. Well, if I put down $20,000 on my mortgage, how much does my mortgage go down?
Not much.
Not $850. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. Did I hear another question coming up? Okay. So anyway, this is something that I do where I want to show them, hey, this is a way to use your proceeds, because the lender also, when you're also saying, well, what do we qualify for on the next home? What does the lender ask? Well, how much are you putting down this time?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I do this, the high, low, the low, medium, and high, and I kind of, hey, look, worst case scenario, here's what I think your proceeds are going to be. Let's tell the lender you're for sure coming away with 100, but if we're going to pay off 53, let's just tell the lender we've got as much as 50,000. But if you want to hold back 20, let's tell the lender we're going to put down at least 30,000. Well, we were hoping to put down 20% or 20%.
Mortgage insurance, yeah.
Right? If you put down 5 or 10%, how much is MI compared to not MI?
150, $200, couple.
On FHA it is. What is it unconventional? $70, $60. It's not that big a deal. And better yet, take your cash, improve your home's value. This is my investor brain working in me. Improve the value of the home and raise its value above 20% equity.
Drop that anyway.
Exactly. So then it's a call up and go, hey, send out one of your little dudes and I can drop my MI. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was our second home we bought. I think it was down in Vegas. But we were like, we want to put 20, like that was the goal. We had to put 20% down, or a certain number, right? And the lender was so good. He's like, why? He's like, don't do that. Just put this amount down, and you're only gonna pay. I think it was like $30 on MI. And I was like, oh, that's it. Like I put 15% or something like that, different 17%, and then we took the money, just like you said, and started investing it into our house and created equity.
If I could eliminate $3,000 a month in bills, all of a sudden $100, 70, 80, $200 of MI does not bother me.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And my point is, if I can show the people the math of here's the best way to use your proceeds. Now we call up the lender, how much do we qualify for? Oh wow, we qualify for $650. Well, what's the payment on that, right? It's going to be about $4,000, $4,200, something. Okay. But if we're right, and I have to tell them, well, right now you're paying $6,350. We're going to lower it to $4,200.
And you're going to get the house you want.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
And the basement's going to be finished.
Really exciting. I've had some very tender experiences watching people go. My most, it's a very common example for me to have people where they at least go new, they just lateral, like, hold on, I'm already spending $4,000 a month, and after I pay off, I can go into a new house at $4,000, even though I go from a $2,000 payment to a $4,000. I can get what I want, a lot newer. My kids are in the schools I want to be in, and my monthly payment, my monthly bills are really not much more than I'm paying now. Exactly. I have that conversation a lot. But saving people $1,000, $1,500 a month is extremely common. The biggest one I had is I had a client, they were at $10,800 a month in bills and payments. 10.8. It was big. And it was time for them to downsize. Sold the home for $1.3 million, took all of the cash that they had, bought another house at $650, only put down kind of sufficient to make things work. Their new payment was $4,000 even, paid off all of their debt, and they had $100,000 left in the bank. That's a $6,800 a month savings after taxes. How much do you have to make gross to save? To get
10 grand, 11 grand. Yeah.
That's $100,000 a year. The tears at closing, the relief that these people felt was, I'll get emotional talking about it. It saved them because they were going backwards. It was a big deal. It's very, very powerful to have this conversation with your clients and help kind of create that. So ready? So hooray, you've got a contingent buyer and their house isn't ready. And they got to fix a few things. And ready, why do people have to sell? I tell people all the time, I'm like, okay, you guys have acquired about 4,000 square feet of stuff, and 3,500 square feet of stuff, and you have a 2,500 square foot, 2,000 square foot home. We need you to reduce it down to 1,500 square feet so that the home looks bigger. And you guys all know that. Get it clean, get a dumpster, get it ready to go, right? Start getting it ready so that when we find the home, we can write a contingency offer. Okay, next slide.
Maybe. Stand by.
Here we go. All right, listing agents. What's your opinion on contingency buyers? And generally, how have we been trained to handle contingency buyers?
You've got 17 minutes.
Okay, I'll go fast. What are we taught as listing agents?
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going. What else? What else are we?
I think here's where a good agent makes a difference, right? At the end of the day. So most sellers say that's the worst thing in the world, right? As an agent, I say, well, not exactly, right? The majority of buyers right now are going to be contingent anyways. What kind of seller, what kind of agent's on the other side of that, and can they get the deal done?
At what price point of a listing are you probably going to get a contingency?
6 and above.
What'd you say?
Like 6 and above.
Yeah, 6 and above. They probably can't afford both homes. Is it worth having a conversation with them? Do you have any sellers right now who would probably entertain and be excited about a contingency?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. The market's changing. Sellers don't get to just show up and go, hey, this is how much I want for my home. And after we get 50, 60, 70, 100 people through the open house, I'll have 20, 30 offers to pick from. Is that happening anymore? Mm-hmm. We're not there. You're doing 2 and 3 open houses sometimes, right? It happens. Okay, and how we've been trained to handle it is using that active TC. What does it do on the market when you see buyer's agents? And when you see active TC, what do you do?
We normally don't show it because we're going to be active TC anyways. Yeah.
I mean, I do have experience calling up the agent and getting an active TC bumped.
Sure.
Right? I've done that. But it's not very common. You often call and go, hey, tell me a little bit about your buyer. Oh, we're past due diligence. They're under contract. Appraisal's done. We're closing in next week. You're like, then just change the status of my client. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Put it in under contract, bro.
But it's okay. So let's go to the next slide. Buyer agents. What's your opinion on contingency buyers? And then what's kind of your opportunity as a buyer's agent? What's your opinion on contingency buyer? Right? You're like, oh boy, here we go. Right? I want you to be excited about it.
I think it's awesome.
I love it.
It's just what I'm used to.
Just me personally, I because you now have buyers who are getting ready to, they're selling a home, they're getting ready to move up.
I get 2 deals.
Exactly, and you go on that appointment, and it's a 1.3 and a 6. I mean, that was a 2.2, or that was a $2 million appointment. Not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, and only one client, and you're handling both sides. How much? When you're the listing agent, and I write you an offer, and you hear that I'm writing you the offer, but I'm also handling the sale of the home. Are you more encouraged or less encouraged?
More encouraged.
Absolutely. But I'm just a member of a team, and there's somebody that you've never talked to. It's nice to know that you've got one point of contact to kind of keep the ball rolling. All right, go ahead. And the opportunity there is that I can pick up a listing and a buyer. As long as I manage this properly, you can do a lot of these, and they are successful. All right, here's the negotiation advantages. Here we go. Next one. This is the language that I use, and you're welcome to use it, okay? I will call the listing agent and say to them, hey, look, we do have a contingency, but here's a couple of things that I want to point out. I'll say, look, we can write you an offer. Well, here's what we'd like to do. We'd like to go under contract. Then our buyer is super committed to lowering their price, getting ready, doing what they need to do to buy the home without the worry of the house going out from underneath them. And your seller, if you'll go under contract, what happens to the days on market?
Stops.
What happens if you do an active TC?
Keeps going.
So if they bail on day 30, you're another 30 days on market. What does the market expect you to do with the price?
Drop the price.
Yeah, so let's prevent that, and then we'll give you a good price for your home. So here's what we do. I'll even text this over to the agent ahead of time and go, hey, here's what we'd like to propose to do. The property will be marked under contract on utahrealestate.com. The buyer has until, was this April right now?
Yeah.
Buyer has until April 30th to have their property referenced in the subject to sale of buyer's property addendum 1 under contract. If the buyer does not have their property under contract by April 30th, the seller, at seller's sole discretion, has the option to either cancel this contract, whereupon the earnest money will be returned to the buyer, or renegotiate the terms of the contract. The seller is in control. Give us until the end of the month to get our home under contract so that we can commit to you guys, and we'll pay you a good price for your home. Commit to us, let us commit to you, we'll commit to the market, we'll get this thing done. We're a little reticent to commit to having our house go on the market. We accept an offer, something happens, they tell us, oh, you're going to have to remove your contingency. Now I really have a homeless buyer who's now selling their home going, hey, I changed my mind, we don't want to sell. You ever tried to get out of it? How's the REPC written? The REPC has, several expensive options for the seller if they try to cancel. And including the fact that the buyer could say, nah, I don't want to let you out of the contract. Right? So we've got these kinds of things. Anyway, when I call the other agent and I text them over this language and we're just trying to agree on a date, I get really, really good positive feedback on this. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about a little bit why you get positive feedback. What does the seller want? They want some certainty, right? So as a listing agent, when I get an offer that's contingent, and the agent's like, I'm so confident we're going to sell. I'm like, great. And they give me an offer, and it's like 90 days out. I'm like, how confident are you really you're going to sell this, right? Like, that's not confidence. When you come here and say, look, we're going to have our house on the market in 1 week, 2 weeks at the most, right? And we're going to have it under contract within 14 days after that. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a legitimate agent, and they've got a buyer/seller that wants to make this move happen.
Yep.
When you give me an offer that's 90, 150 days out, like, I'm just going to go get somebody else.
Larry?
I love this. This is really smart. Thank you. Where do you put your, so you're saying, okay, we'll be under contract by April 30th. Are you putting your settlement deadline?
30 out from there. I'll even say to them.
Technically at like a 60-day contract.
Sure, but I'm saying to them, our financing and appraisal and settlement deadlines are kind of a moving, if everybody understands, that's kind of a moving target based on the offer that we accept. Okay. The sellers are tickled because sometimes the seller's going, I need to get my home under contract.
So then I can go write an offer.
Because I've committed to Nelson Homes that I'm going to have it under contract in a certain time. Or like my
a lot of
next
times
deal.
they can help to sell it for that point
Yeah.
too. Especially if they're obviously a contingency, most likely. So
You ever had any sellers sick of showing the home? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's put an end to that. Let's just put an end to that. Let's get. So my point is as a listing agent, you're going to look at that offer a little more seriously. You're going to call the lender. Some of the things that I do is I go, tell me about their home. Well, it's a little townhouse, blah, blah, blah. We're going to list it for $375. They only owe $210. Okay, I'm feeling good about what. We're going to list it for $375. They owe $360.
Hold on.
Feeling a certain way. And then I nerd out on this. I actually drive to the property that they're selling just to make sure that it's not next to a mink farm or backs up to the I-15. Tiffany loves it if it's in like St. George. She's like, let's go right now.
Yeah.
And but I like to go drive to the home and make sure that I know that the situation looks good, right? But your contingency buyer, if you kind of, hey, let me get, as the buyer's agent, give me permission to be able to share some of the details about where you're at financially with your home, so they know that we're a really solid buyer who has to sell, but we're sitting on a gob of equity so we can make this work. If we need to drop our price, we can still afford to buy your home. Does that make sense?
It feels good as a listing.
Do you like that?
I like it.
So the property will be marked under contract.
We also use it as buyer agents. We'll go in and say, hey, you can use this agent as the seller. We're coming in telling you can cancel if we can't get,
if we don't perform.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we've used it being both agents, both sides.
Yep.
We just get that in there, and
People
works
love
straight
it.
both ways.
People love it. People love it.
So when you're the listing agent, you tell the buyer's agent,
Yeah.
this is the language we want.
Hey, we're willing to go
Yeah.
under contract if you'll use this, because now our seller's not stuck with
gives the seller the
a 90
You guys don't
day.
use time clause at all.
Never.
I'm not a fan. I don't like time clause. I don't love backup.
Well, because it
for a
doesn't give
couple
the
of those.
buyer
I just don't
any
love it.
confidence to get their house on the market,
If we-
right?
If we like the home, if we like the offer enough to accept it as a time clause, then let's like the offer enough to accept it as an under contract. So ready, here's what I do on the listing side. Okay, look, we're going to propose this language and we're going to send it to you. This is why we're going to counter offer at $10,000 more. And we're gonna cover most of your closing costs. You're proposing that we hold on to the home for an extra month, right? Before we sell it. We're good with that. We'll commit to you, we're okay to commit to you, and actually go under contract with you. Now, your buyer doesn't have to worry about losing this home if I give you a 48-hour notice about a time clause. You guys can buy our home with a lot of confidence. So that's why we're going to counter offer back to the asking price, and we're going to commit to you, and you know you can buy this house. It's not a maybe, you're getting it. How many of your clients would wait an extra 30 days for another 10 grand? So it's a great negotiation tool to say, let's do this. Yeah, it really works well. I've had really good success with this.
Well, and then
Go ahead.
you
Go
can
ahead,
go
Jessica.
to the buyer's agent at that point too and say, hey, we don't want you to overprice your house, and now we're watching you, because when we come to that date, if you guys have been dinking around and not lowering your price and all that kind of stuff, now we can get out and back on the market, but our days haven't been counting.
That's
as if
right.
we were a time
I can
clause,
go
right?
back on the market, and I'm
That's
not.
5 days
And
on the
I'm not weathered. What's the right word? I'm not. Another 30 days on the market.
You're not a
Right here in
stagnant
the
listing,
market.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
stagnant.
you typically do 30 days?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll look at a few of the weekends.
Yeah.
Right, the one that say you'll be on the market in 7 days, right? I've called, hey, look, I'm going to use that same language, and we're going to put an actual date. The one after 4th of July weekend, the one
Yeah.
after
Easter.
Christmas and New Year's, or after Easter. Is that okay? Oh yeah, and then that gives us 1, 2, 3 full weekends to get the job done. Okay, and if I talk to the other agent about that, hey, you guys can enjoy Easter without worrying, or Christmas, or 4th of July, or Memorial Day weekend. You're not going to have to worry about showing your home. We're under contract. Let's go. Go ahead.
So we're just wiping out the time clause, and you're putting this down as a buyer addendum to the REPC.
Yep.
And you're just suggesting this is the verbiage that I want you to
Yep.
use in your addendum.
Yep.
So when you send it over, then we're good.
That's it. I put that in the addendum. I actually will
We
tell them ahead of
text the
time. I'll
agent,
text them ahead of
This
time.
is what we want to use,
And
both sides, buyer. and
Every time I get the
seller.
agent just, I get the same reaction you all did, like, wow, I like that.
Well, ask Lewis how he reacted
Yeah, Lewis.
when we did it.
I sent that over to Lewis. What'd you? I mean,
You
I
were
was like,
the
Darby,
listing
well,
agent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Yep. That
And our
was-
clients were like, we'd like to do that anyways. That's better.
Yeah, we
I like
wanna-
it.
Yeah, we were selling a home.
And-
We were
yeah.
selling a home down in.
It was
What's it called?
Farmington.
It was Farmington is the one you were buying.
The one we
but
were
yeah,
buying was
yeah.
850.
Yeah, it was 800. It was
800.
800.
We're buying at 800, and we were selling at 6. But we were able to do all of that and get it done in time. And then my client had, plenty of money to do what he needed to do, and came in with $350,000 because we were sitting in such. And I mentioned this. Hey, he only owes like 110 on his home. Oh, okay. Well, we had plenty of money to do what we needed to do, and it was just if we communicate that way, the reception from the listing agent is, oh, that's a great idea. Or
And we're
when you're
100% closing
100%
deals
closing.
using this.
I've never gotten to the date of saying we're gonna exercise the option to terminate the agreement. I've never gotten that far. Are you raising
Just
your
giving you a
hand?
5-minute warning too. Or like 5 minutes, but if
Okay.
people want to stay longer.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So by doing it this way, you're not promising it's going to be on the market at any time.
I'll
It's just
I'll
gonna be
actually.
under contract.
You'll pick
Yes.
a date, right?
Yes,
then
I
you're
actually
not
take
gonna
that
rush.
away to go, hey, look, we're going to be under contract by day 30, so let's get on it and get on the market right away.
Right.
That's a good point.
So if your buyer's not ready in 7 days, that's
Because I'm not using the active TC language, but I don't mind putting language that says, hey, we'll be on the market by, after Easter, we'll be on the market by April 8th or something.
So are you including your subject to sell? Because your subject to sell is what says
Yeah,
the
you have
7
to,
days.
yeah.
But you're
That's
putting
correct,
it
I'm sorry.
down there.
You're right, I'm sorry. The subject to sale of buyer's property condition does say that we'll be on in 7 days. I'll use that exact sentence to change it to a date or to change it to 10 days or 14 days if I need to. But prior to that, I've been working with my client, hey, let's get your house ready. Yeah. But here you are, you're the agent that's controlling all that, and the listing agent has got a lot of confidence in what you're trying to do. You as the listing agent are talking to the buyer agent, proposing this language, coming along with your counteroffer that strengthens your seller's position, and it's just really a great place to be. Okay, next one.
Okay, I'm just going to tell them yes. That will. You're okay if we share this?
Absolutely, absolutely. Please use it. Take it. Use
Yeah.
it.
Okay, we'll put it in school.
Seller advantages. We already kind of went through this. We can go to the next one. Buyer. We already know this one. And you can. Okay, ready? This is my last slide. Sometimes I wonder what happened to the people who asked me for directions. So I hope I'm giving good advice. Did you enjoy
That's amazing.
everything?
Yes, thank you.
so Jeff's funny. He's like, I don't do this very often, Graham. I don't teach like this often. And he's like, I don't know if I'll be able to fill 15 minutes. Like, Jeff, you're good. I was like, no problem. All right, real quick, we got just a few minutes left. Let's say top three, three people, top takeaway. What was big takeaway? Anybody here say, hey, here's a big takeaway?
Yeah, I feel like it gives you back a little more negotiating power. Like sometimes I felt like as a buyer's agent going in with a contingency, I was just like, whatever you want us to do, like, or like as a seller, like you get conversation back. It's not just like, oh, this is just what it is. It is what it is.
Yep.
There's actually like a
so it creates opportunities and real conversations and some optimism as you move into it. Yes?
Yeah. I don't think you're going like, oh shit.
Yeah, perfect. I like it. Biggest takeaway for me is it gets me excited for contingent offers, and it makes me a figure of authority in the contract, and that other agent's going to be kind of taking my lead on it and going, hey, this is actually pretty dang good. I think there's a lot of benefit.
Remember, we're on the same book.
Team. Yeah.
We're just got to get on the same chapter and then get on the same page, right? And this is how you do it with real solutions. Too often we're like, well, this is all the time in real estate school. This is my first team taught me, so I don't know what else to do, right? You kind of do the same thing, and you like keep hammering this square peg into a round hole. You're like, why is this not working? It's because you're not leveraging the recipe the correct way. You're not leveraging your options correctly, right? I always like to tell my team, and as I go through things, look, you have multiple levers in your real estate purchase contract, and you have lots of levers as an agent who's selling, as an agent who's buying. You got to figure out which levers to pull to make it work. Like what? I love to ask the question: what is most important to you in this transaction, and what does it take to be successful here? Like, what are we really trying to accomplish here? Because a lot of people are like, well, I want the most money possible. Yeah, what are you really trying to accomplish? You're really trying to move. That's really what you're trying to do, and make it so your payment works, right? So let's find out how we do that. And as a buyer agent, how can I help you to help your clients accomplish their homeownership goals? And if we can start getting into that language, because we can get through anything. There are very little deals we can't figure out at the end of the day. Would you agree? Yes. Cool. Any other big takeaways here? Anything else that was like, this is an aha?
Just the figures that you threw up there, that kind of changed my mindset a little bit about how I even approach my people, because now instead of them saying, hey, look, we're going to wait for a year because I want to finish this bathroom, it's like, well, why don't we get this thing done? Let's look at the big picture on this instead of just narrowing it down to, their bathroom's not done, or their floors need whatever.
So one thing that we might, maybe a future one we could do this, but I love when I work with buyers, guys, and I don't think I'm the only one by any means, but maybe a little more unique. I'd like to get to my numbers with my buyers. Like, okay, I want to know your credit score. I want to know how much money you have in your bank account. I want to know how much debt you carry. Like, why do I want to know those things? Isn't that the lender's job? Yes, but is it also my job? Yes, because I represent them as a client, right?
You're dictating how the process goes.
So at the end of the day, the more I know about my clients, they're like, oh, Graham, I actually carry this much debt. I have this card, I have this, and that, and they're a contingent buyer. I'm like, okay, let me tell you how we can make this work for you successfully, right? The more but there was this is, I can't remember, do you remember like back in the day, I don't know, it was on PBS or something, there was like the star that go across the screen. And it was like the more you learn, the more you know.
The more you grow,
And I was like, well, that's like the dumbest comment in the world. Of course, that's what it is. But I want you to stop and think about that. Like the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you know, whatever it is. Yeah, the more you really know, and knowledge is power, right? You're not just a real estate agent, you're a knowledge broker. And if you can become a knowledge broker, not only for your own skills as an agent, but on your client's behalf, then you're going to see some really cool things happen in your career. Is that fair?
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we've got today.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you, Jeff. Let's give him a round of applause.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3 days online.
Yeah, that was really good. I don't know.
Rose, is there a chance that you can send me that?
Yes.
I'm not on here.
Oh, on the school. I can send you the
Jeff, good job, buddy.
Then you can see the guy.
Are you got like 5 minutes after?
I always hate shaking your hand. I know.